Hey horror fans, thanks for joining me for this review of Spell. Alright, cast and crew information down below as usual. And let's see what IMDb says the plot of this movie is. A man crash lands in rural Appalachia and awakens in the attic of a traditional hoodoo, not voodoo, hoodoo practitioner. He desperately tries to break free from the dark magic and save his family from a sinister ritual before the rise of the blood moon. Ooh, right, it's spooky stuff here. Um, so this is a newer movie. Just recently came out. I think it hit a few theaters and on digital demand and so forth. So we'll try to keep this as spoiler free as can be. I did get the privilege of speaking with the director and doing an interview with him, so got filled in a few things about the movie. But I usually like to do interviews where where I've seen the movie first, but this is a rare one where I actually didn't see the movie till after I did the interview. So I guess one of the biggest things I wanted to know was Hoodoo just a made up thing for the movie or if it was a real thing, and he mentioned to me it was a real thing. So I guess it's similar to voodoo, um, but yeah, I guess you can kind of think of it as maybe like its cousin or something like that. Um, I'll get to I guess that part of the movie in a minute. I guess the beginning of it just kind of sets up a good story here, and they go into details. The main character here, Marquise, is he basically came from this lifestyle, so you can kind of say this is almost a going full circle story, or if you want to call it. You see as the movie plays on, he's not so far from these people. He used to be raised in this kind of type of atmosphere where he eventually ends up. And but as the movie opens, you see that he's very rich, very successful, and more concerned with the material things in life, and obviously his family. And but unfortunately, they have to fly back to his home area there because I believe they're going to a funeral, or someone has gone sick, something like that. And they go to great lengths here. They get on a plane. It's one of those small rinky planes, and he's actually flying himself, so he obviously knows how to fly. Interestingly enough, they land and kind of fuel up just before they hit the final stretch there, and you get a little bit of an introduction of the weirdness that's going to come. And they take back off, but the plane kind of hits stormy weather and goes down. And he awakens in this house, and he's in bed and he's injured, and I guess he's been recovering for a couple of days or so. And you can kind of think of it at this point, when you kind of see the scene unfold, you kind of bring you back to Misery, and you think about Misery, how he was rescued and then kind of stuck there in bed and being nursed back to health. I think kind of everybody goes back to that when we see a scene like this. So it kind of sets up like that. But it seems harmless enough, and of course he wakes up and he wants to know what happened to his family, and they kind of make it seem like maybe they didn't make it, they didn't survive the crash, and he doesn't really know. He doesn't want to believe that, but he's really unsure because he doesn't really remember anything. So, he wants to kind of get up and going, but they don't want him to, and I guess there's another big dude here who kind of keeps him in his place. And soon enough, both him and the audience get introduced to this hoodoo, and that this is when the real horror of the story comes in, and you can kind of see its effects. And Miss, I guess, I can't even say her name right, but Illinois, I think, is she's the one in charge. She's in charge of this little farm that they're on and so forth. And she's also the one that's kind of doing this hoodoo nonsense here. And it involves dolls and using the dolls to control people and so forth. So let's say they make a doll of you, and again, if you break the doll's arm, your arm is broken and so forth. So very, very close to voodoo and so forth. I guess it's a little bit more earth-based than voodoo, which is what I gathered, but I could be wrong. So, the story basically sets up, I don't want to spoil too much more, but obviously, I think it's pretty simple from this point on. He wants to get up from this bed, he wants to heal, he wants to move on and try to find out, is his family really dead? Are they alive? What is he believing? By the time he's in bed there, sometimes he's knocked out, so he has some dreams. So he's rather confused about whether things are real, what's not real, and what is going on, what's not going on. And obviously, he wants to, if his family's alive, rescue them, and if not, obviously get off this farm. So you can kind of see what's going on there. So it's a pretty straightforward story. I like the way they went to the great lengths there and do the whole plane thing to get him there. There are some good creepy scenes. I'm not going to say this is a big jump scare movie, but there was some creepiness. Again, he has some unusual dreams, which are weird. He has something happen to one of his feet, and that'll kind of make you kind of cringe a little bit there. Maybe not as much, we want to draw the Misery comparison. Maybe not as much as the whole ankle getting sledgehammered, but certainly holds its own. And I think, as you go on, there's a really good scene there in the barn where you really get to witness what Hoodoo does and what they're doing here on this farm. And it's a real creepy scene and so forth. Kind of one of those scenes you think of people who just follow a religion and just do whatever they want. Whatever the preacher or priest or whoever's running the show do, just follow them. And you kind of see that here with a group of people that come to this farm. So that's a really interesting scene and one of the better scenes in the movie as well. But it does come to a good, exciting conclusion there. There's a neat little twist, that they kind of fill you in, that kind of switches. So they mix in this hoodoo kind of stuff well. And the acting is pretty good. Again, this is something I also talked about with the director, and I wasn't Omari Hardwick plays Marcus, and not really familiar with him, but I think he did a pretty good job. But obviously, Loretta Devine is the opposite. Is this hoodoo practitioner here in this movie, and if you don't know the name, I'm sure once you see her on screen, you'll be familiar with her. She's done a lot of things, and she's really good in this movie as well. She can play both sides. She seems like a really nice lady, and then but when it comes time to get into the craziness, she does a good job with that as well. So I thought they both did a really good job with that as well. So overall, I think I'm going to give this one 3 pools of blood. It's a good story setup, but like I said, it kind of comes full circle for Marquise there, and bringing it back to his roots per se. And the acting is good, and then it's not a total blood and guts movie. Like I said, there's that one scene with his foot. That's a big cringe worthy moment there. I liked the ending. It was a good ending, and with a small twist there to help things move along. And I thought it was good enough. It was a good film. It was well put together. So 3 pools of blood for this one. I'm not gonna need to put a spell on you to make you see it or not. But I think if you come across it, you'll enjoy this one enough. So with that, Twitter and Facebook handles down below. Feel free to comment. Comment if you've seen this movie. You want to mention something about it, whether you liked it or not. Also contact me if you have a movie you'd like me to review. Something that you want me to go over, I'm happy to do so if I can. And horrorreviews.blogspot.com is also down below. You can check out more reviews, written and video reviews. All of my reviews are there. Subscribe to the channel if you want, just interested in these video reviews. And I will try to remember when I put this one up to include a link to the interview I did for promotehorror.com for this movie as well. So if you guys do check out this movie and are interested in knowing a little bit more about how it was put together and more about Hoodoo, he does explain that again in the interview. You can find that there as well. So yeah, that'll be it, and I guess I'll catch you on the next review, horror fans.